Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
I was at the gym. A guy challenged me to a squatting competition, and I tried to squat 300 pounds on the shoulders, and it didn't work out.
That, of course, is Will Power, Indy 500 champion, IndyCar champion with a neck brace. We're going to explain what happened to Will Power with that neck brace coming up sometime in the show. It is.
That's a tease.
You like that tease, Crasher? Speed Freaks, almost 24 years of a big, fat, freaking radio show on the Freak Radio Network. And, of course, now for our second year on MAV TV, Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave, still to this day. This is a week and a half into Richie's new hairdo, that forehead shine. Statman and I have to ask periodically, who is that guy in the lower right-hand box on this television radio show? Richie, is that you?
Look good, feel good, you know?
Yep.
New year, new me. Love it.
Attaboy. So I will say this. Listen, millennials are not killing haircuts, right? That's
Nope.
nice. That's nice to hear, Richard C. Suave.
It only took 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Although in the middle of this storm that's blanketed the East Coast, he's growing his beard back in respect for the cold air that's happening thousands of miles away from him.
Oh, no. It's plenty cold in the West, too.
Yeah.
Very, actually.
And it's 12 inches of snow in 24 hours. It's Snow Bowl just north of Flagstaff. I digress, Freak Nation. Coming up in the show, this is going to be a fun one. Supercross season, of course, is kicked off this month. Arenacross is full-fledged into their season. NASCAR right around the corner. Chili Bowl, IndyCar. Okay, it's going to happen another 7 or 8 months from now.
24 hours of Daytona.
Listen, this is going to be a fantastic show. Aaron Plessinger, the singing cowboy, one of the most popular Supercross riders out there now. He'll be joining us this hour. Crasher, with Arenacross on MAV TV, we have, speaking of, another personality on two wheels that's going to be joining us in about 30, 45 minutes.
Aaron Siminoe,
Arenacross Series pilot. He'll be here. Randy LaJoie, one of the top 75 NASCAR drivers of all time, 3-time Busch Series champion, Xfinity Series now. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. I got a feeling we're going to spend a lot of time with that guy.
Randy talks. Yes. He likes to talk.
Well, so do we. We're the Freaks.
Valid.
And again, coming up in June, man, we've been doing this for 24 years. Started out in one little old radio show, one little old station, 1 hour now. Bam, all over the Freak Radio Network, Sirius XM, every audio app, and, of course, on MAV TV, YouTube, Facebook Live. We're there for you, Freak Nation. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there. You can't fail the Freaks or fail to find the Freaks. So much news that I'd like to hit, but initially there was an article that was released a few days ago from NBC and Nathan Brown, right, Richie?
This was not Nathan. Nathan Brown was from the Indy Star. He did have one as well because it was IndyCar Media Week this week where all the drivers were out promoting the series and whatnot. So
Nathan Brown from Indy Star and Nate Ryan from NBC Sports regarding this media day, social media day for IndyCar.
Media Week.
Okay. And we're I think all four of us have IndyCar, maybe top 5, top 3 of our favorite series on the planet. I know IndyCar is one of my favorites to watch, so we're not shy to, when we see warts, we point them out to not to the surprise of anybody within the series or the drivers. We're actually speaking for a lot of the drivers when it comes to some of the things we say. Such a fan of the racing. But I bring this up because there was an article released about several drivers that met with Roger Penske and his group over dinner. I don't know if drinks were part of it. I'm sure if drinks were part of it, man, we might have had some fisticuffs going off.
No, come on.
Regardless, we know that some of the drivers have not been happy for for a while with the IndyCar series. They're making progress, according to this report. I think the big sticking issue has been the development of this hybrid engine that has been delayed and delayed and delayed, so much so, and Crasher, help me out here, that the tail end of last year, one of their two manufacturers, Honda, said, bruh, Penske, if we don't get this hybrid developed, we're pulling our millions or billions, depending on how far back you go with what Toyota has contributed.
Honda.
Excuse me, what did I say? Toyota? Sorry, Honda has contributed. We're pulling our money, and we're going to go play in somebody else's sandbox.
And maybe not necessarily another racing series, but yeah, just, hey, listen, this is the future of the sport, the future of motorsports, but also the future of automobiles is electric, is hybrid. And if you're not going to play in that realm, then we can't be a part of you. Obviously, they said it a little more politically correct, but they did put the threat out there. And so that is where kind of
Hey, wait a minute.
arguably the worst news of the offseason came right there.
Is that what they said, Crash? I think what they said is that they want a return on their investment.
That's where it stemmed from. But they did say, if you don't go in this direction, we cannot play.
Well, that makes sense. And they, and we've been saying that for, at least I have, for several years now. And they also, in addition to return on investment, they implied that they want somebody else to come in. Right now, there's Chevy, GM, and Honda. They want a third partner to come in and help with that return on investment. And maybe they won't be able to participate in the hybridization. But they want some support. They want somebody else at the table. And I looked at that article, and there's a whole host of things that just don't make sense. The cardification of IndyCar is kind of disappointing. But the one thing that I did notice that was on the NBC Sports website was no link to IndyCar. There's golf, there's rugby, there's NASCAR, there's NFL, there's all sorts of things, but they've lumped IndyCar into motors.
Oh, yes. I've noticed that for a while now. It's,
I mean, why doesn't IndyCar get its own link? That's, I don't know. That's just something.
Same for Supercross, right?
Yeah. Supercross, I think, is in motors as well.
Hey, let me bring the millennial in here, because this is not a sexy subject. To kick off a TV radio show, this is not a sexy subject. I want to make it sexy, because what does this matter to me as the consumer? Richie being the residential millennial, what does it matter, the power plant that's on one of Richie's favorite series? Does that mean he's going to go out and buy a Honda Prius or a Honda Civic? What the hell does it matter what power plant is on there? Richie, does it matter to you what's powering that open wheel car?
No, I can tell you right now that if you're, my age-ish, let's just say in your 30s, right? Let's say without a family, where you're not looking to buy a new car. First of all, people my age aren't buying new cars because they're so stinking expensive. The economy is not rolling around great right now. So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not buying cars because Kyle Larson is driving a Chevy. I'm not buying a Honda engine car because, like a Toyota, because with a Honda engine car, because it is an Indy car. It doesn't matter. I don't care. What I want to buy the most affordable car I can that I think is going to be the most reliable, not based on my favorite drivers and my favorite series, et cetera, et cetera. That's not how things work for people my age. At least I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm assuming that I have similar thoughts to among the people my age, though.
I've never cared about any particular car because of motorsports. And I know that it used to be that way. Win on Sunday, buy on Monday. And there was brand loyalty to the engine manufacturer. But I'm 51, and I've never, ever, ever thought that I need to buy or like a certain car because of so-and-so who just won the Indy 500. Nope, never thought of it that way.
Statman, you look at the branding on those Indy cars. Again, you've got to look closely that that's a Honda engine, that's a Chevy engine. So really, you need to push the name of that manufacturer. That's going to sell more cars on Monday in the Honda lots?
Well, I don't know how seriously we want to get into this conversation at the top of the show, but no, this is the whole point of the thing. And reading that article, I don't think that anybody understands the business that they're in. They're in the
Hold on.
audience
Talking about
business.
reading the article of the driver feedback from when they met. A couple of drivers met with Roger Penske this past week.
The content media that it happened in Indianapolis for the IndyCar series to start off the beating the drums when the series starts in St. Petersburg in March.
Right.
There. But I forgot what I was going to say.
We'll talk about the win on Sunday, buy on Monday, the whole mantra of engine
We got
manufacturers.
about 45 seconds for you, Stat. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue should be audience, how to build audience, how to get people interested. Richie's right. A lot of people don't buy cars, and the cost of cars is approaching $50,000. And there's not a lot of people that can afford to pay that cash or even qualify for that loan. So there's a lot that's happening here that they're going the way of cart, and that's not where IndyCar wants to go.
Statman has said that numerous times over the last year plus here in the Freak Nation. And again, let's revisit that conversation this hour sometime. Aaron Plessinger, one of the most popular riders in the Supercross series, the singing Cowboy. He's going to join us next. Also with Arenacross on MAV TV, we're going to feature one of their top stars coming up this hour here in the Freak Nation. And next hour, Randy LaJoie. It's a big one. SpeedFreaks, SpeedFreaks.tv, the website. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. And, of course, all of you listening to us on the Freak Radio Network. More Freaks coming up.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Lucas Oil Studios and lucasoil.com. Got yourself a motorcycle in the garage, sitting up there in Maine, Rhode Island, freezing your butt off. Well, make sure you have that thing primed and ready once you want to get it back out on the road. Lucas Oil with a plethora of motorcycle oils and lubricants. Check them out at lucasoil.com. That's lucasoil.com. Statman, do you remember when you had the singing cowboy in here, Aaron Plessinger? You and Crash did the interview with him. Was it a couple of years ago, and he decided to sing for you?
It was last year.
No.
Okay. Well, the good news is I'm about to refresh your memory. He's one of the most popular riders in the Supercross season. He could finish dead last and still be more entertaining than 99% of the riders there.
It's not just personality. It's the Pastrana factor, too. He stays for every autograph.
Yep. Sitting in the top 10. Hell of a member of the Freak Nation. It's Aaron Plessinger. Like you typically don't see Aaron Plessinger, if you can believe that or not. Aaron Plessinger here in the Freak Nation.
His right eye really flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my mother, my brother, my sister, and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free.
So the singing cowboy, Aaron Plessinger, back in the Freak Nation. I'm not going to ask you to sing. I put you on the spot in Phoenix last time. You sang for Statman and Crasher.
Oh, yeah.
But I hear you talking about you're not nervous. Is that real, Aaron Plessinger? You're not nervous? Is it because it's Friday and it's not Saturday night?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it might be. But, no, I've just had such a good off season, and these last, month and a half has been so good, and my bike's good, my body's good. I know I'm confident, I've done the work, and I'm just ready to get out there. I'm not nervous right now, and I haven't been really building up to this race, so it's a good feeling.
I've been coming to this press conference since you've been in diapers, and every year they talk about it being the strongest field ever, the strongest field. This is the strongest field ever, Aaron Plessinger.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're almost 20 factory guys deep. It's definitely going to be a stacked class this year, and what I'm really excited to watch is those LCQs, because a lot of the guys that we're making it in the main are going to be in those LCQs, and it's going to be really, really exciting. But no, it's going to be really, really tough this year. It's going to be a stacked class, and I'm ready for it.
You took a question right out of my mouth, because I do see one or two of those guys being in LCQs throughout the season. How do you race in an LCQ versus, babe, I'm already in this thing?
Oh, dude, you gotta go from the start wide open. If you don't get a good start, you got to push to the front, because it's only, I don't even know how long it is. It's like 4 minutes plus a lap. So it's it's quick racing. So if you're not in a good position, you better get in a good position quick. And if you are in a good position, you better stay there, because it's those last few laps of that LCQ are not very nice, and you don't want to find yourself on the ground.
Pit boards are pit boards, I get them, but you got to be your own coach. I don't care if it's in the main or if it's in the LCQ. What is Aaron Plessinger saying to himself if you're in mid-pack or back of the field working your way up? What are you saying mentally to work your way back up?
No, yeah, I'm just focusing on the next guy. If I'm not out in front, I'm focusing on the next position that I can get.
Are you saying this guy takes this berm this way and I've got to hit it this? Are you thinking that?
Well, I'm just saying, the dude that I'm behind, I got to get past him as soon as.
Thinking of his style?
No, I'm not. I got my own style, so I don't need to change anything up. But yeah, I'm just thinking about getting that next guy, and as long as I'm not out in front, I'm always thinking that. I'm always chasing down the guy in front of me, and hopefully we'll get a few hole shots this year, so I don't have to worry about that. I can just lead the whole race.
And that's what a lot of folks hope, because of we talk about your personality, cowboy hat, and your hair. I get that, but it's a loss when you're not on the bike because of what you bring to this series. Granted, you can't walk in your room and have 36 450 championships, but you do have a personality and a following that means a lot to this audience.
Yeah, man. And I always try to include or incorporate the fans in whatever I do, especially when we're here in the stadium. So I think they resonate with that very, very well, and they can maybe kind of relate to me because, I'm just an Ohio boy that likes to ride dirt bikes. And I think personality is so important to have, especially in this sport. And like you said, when I'm not on the bike, I've heard a lot of people say that the sport isn't the same. So I'm glad they think like that because, I'm here for a long time, not just a good time.
Can you compare the way your body feels now, given what happened last year versus previous seasons, as far as repair, bruises, bumps? Are they all gone? Where are you from a 1 to 10, a 10 being the best? Come on, don't give me a 10.
No, yeah, man. I mean, I would say right now I'd be 9.5, 10 range because I've had, I don't know. I've hit the ground. I've been in the gym. I've done everything that I need to do to be where I am now. And there's been not really many hiccups this year in the injury scene. So it's awesome. And I feel great. My body feels great. And my mind feels great as well.
Who are you looking forward to kick their ass more, Chase, Jet, or Eli? Give me something. Come on, Plessinger. Give me something, buddy. All the hype behind Jet.
I'm thinking Eli. I think he's been in the sport. He's a badass dude, and I really, really would like to beat him. And I think that would. Given his current state, nobody knows. He looks really, really good. He looks fit, and it'd be really nice to beat him at his best.
Dude, it's always fun to get you in the Freak Nation.
Hey, it's always good to be here, man.
Now this nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. Soon as we can see it clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list. And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to your courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
All right. That was amazing. Of course, he's talking about feeling good this season and wanting to beat Eli Tomac at his top, but then we end with him singing last year. You can't top that. I have nothing to say after hearing him sing. But yes, check, he beat Eli Tomac in Anaheim. Granted, it wasn't at Eli's best, arguably, but he's feeling good. He's not kidding when he says he's not nervous and he feels like he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, he was the fastest in the whoops first race of the season of anybody out there. Yes, including Jet. So he's got something going on for sure.
Statman, again, as I mentioned to him, we've been doing those press conferences for 2 decades at Anaheim 1 to kick off the season. And there are, I know you're the Jeremy McGrath guy or Ricky Carmichael guy? Which one are you?
Which one am I? I'm Ricky Carmichael all the way, if not James. Yeah.
Right. But looking at the stacked dais up there with everybody looking down upon Jet Lawrence, I don't want to get into that, but
dude,
it was like the Last Supper. And they were all just looking at Jet.
Jet's about to go 7 years in a row. He's about to take it from all of us.
This guy, holy smokes.
Yeah, if you had the season that Jet had, people would be standing in line to look at you too.
Right. Yeah, last year's outdoor season. Oh, hi, undefeated as a rookie. Hardly ever. Well, only he and Carmichael, right?
And we got about a minute here. And midway through the motocross season, the outdoor season, we started to talk about, we started to put Jet already up there in the Eli Tomac, the Ricky Carmichael, the McGrath, the James Stewart echelon.
Villapoto, Dungy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dog.
And everybody was like, no, not yet. Small sample size. Well, he just last weekend became the first rookie ever in the 50 years of Supercross to win Anaheim.
Right.
Won as a rookie.
Just saying.
Just saying.
All right, freaks. Again, check out the website, speedfreaks.tv, and of course, all of our social media handles at SpeedFreaks, official SpeedFreaks on YouTube, and of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there for you. A Major League Championship driver was seen in a neck brace and caused an uproar. We'll get to that next. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
GeneralTire.com. I can't recommend that website any more than I can. I could recommend you check out GeneralTire.com more so now than any time before this year. Okay, we're 2 weeks. All right, go to GeneralTire.com, man. It's a wet, cold Northeast. You have balding tires. Check out GeneralTire.com and find out how you can get a new set of General tires on that hot rod of yours.
It's wet and cold everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no safe place in this country right now to escape cold.
Make sure you got some new rubbers on that hot rod. All right. So an Indy 500 champion, champ car champion, an IndyCar champion, done showed up on social media in a neck brace, and the motorsports world was all is it titter or flitter? What is it?
Flutter.
All a flutter.
I was at the gym. A guy challenged me to a squatting competition, and I tried to squat 300 pounds on the shoulders, and it didn't work out. I was only joking. I'm getting a lot of messages that I thought people could see that I was being sarcastic, but that's nice. I squatted the 300 pounds and beat the guy, so he had to walk out in shame.
What's so great about that, again, if you're listening to us on the Freak Radio Network, that was Will Power, Indy 500 champion, IndyCar champion, drives for Roger Penske. I doubt if he got that cleared by anyone. He just dropped it out there and probably had everybody in the Penske court, IMS, IndyCar going, what's going on? Will Power.
You're under contract. You're not supposed to lift weights in your contract, let alone squat 300 pounds.
And Statman, that just goes right to the core of what you talk about with every series about promoting the drivers. And listen, props to Will Power, having fun with it and promoting Will Power, the IndyCar. There are probably people out there that somehow, form or fashion, they found out about the IndyCar series, Statman, because of that.
Yeah, what can I say? That's what I've been talking about. The drivers are the ones that are going to bring the fans, and that's why USAC and not the IRL, but all the racing that used to happen leading up to Indianapolis was when these guys raced in these short tracks, and people said, wait till he gets to Indy. And now NASCAR, with the split, NASCAR took up all those short tracks, and IndyCar's got a lot of work to do to get that back. And it's going to happen with the drivers. It's not going to happen with factories. It's not going to happen with hybridization. It's not going to happen racing in Europe or South America. It's going to happen with the drivers, the personalities of the drivers. We know that they're great. I hope IndyCar figures that out as well.
You know, that's a great way. I don't even know if that was your plan, Kenny, to tie these two IndyCar topics together of the engine manufacturers and the media week that happened this week in Indianapolis, and drivers being invited to talk with the Penske executives to figure out how to make the series better. And then this Will Power video and how powerful it was, and that this is what IndyCar needs. You're right. They don't need to go to Europe to make the series better. They've got a great on-track product now. They've got incredible personalities, but the world, America just doesn't know about it yet. So before any hybridization of anything, before any video game is resurrected, thank goodness it was this week, but I digress. Before any of that really matters, the series itself needs to matter. And things like what Will Power did this week is spot on how you do it.
When we're dropping bombs out there and critical of certain series or certain drivers, I'm too damn old. I've been in this business too darn long. I think all of us are the same way, where there is nothing personal about it. It's just, this is how we feel. This is what we're hearing. This is what we're told, because we're all proponents of every motorsports series out there. And I say that regarding IndyCar, where Crasher gets a text from a multiple-time Indy 500 winner saying, can we talk off the record or talk in the off season about we the lack of promotion for drivers is driving us crazy. So we don't just bring this up on, hey, let's create a controversial topic. No, we're fans of freaking IndyCar, man. And these personalities, holy smokes. Before Richie joined SpeedFreaks, he couldn't tell Alio between a hole in the wall. He couldn't. But now that Richie's invested in...
Actually, bad choice. That was a Dancing with the Stars champion. Let's just say Simon Pagenaud.
Okay, Simon Pagenaud. Now that Richie's invested in the series, you've been part of SpeedFreaks for many years, Richie. You know these drivers. You know these personalities. That punches tickets for you versus some dude in a helmet in a car where you can't see his face.
100%. And I was bummed reading this week that the partnership between Joseph Newgarden and Bus Bros.
Scott McLaughlin.
Jiminy Christmas. My two favorite drivers on the IndyCar grid, for what it's worth.
Because of their personalities?
Because of Bus Bros and because of their personalities. Bus Bros is coming to an end because of some behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on. But I was bummed to have see that gone, because I thought Bus Bros was maybe the best promotion IndyCar series could have, because it showed off those two drivers' personalities. It showed off other IndyCar drivers' personalities, and that did better promotion for the sport and for the series. And Kenny mentioned this earlier in the show. I think IndyCar is the most competitive and the best racing in all of motorsports, in my opinion. And I want to see it succeed so badly because of that. Did anybody in here watch the 100 Days to Indy earlier this year? No. You want to know why? It aired on the freaking CW. We don't even know. I don't even know where the CW is here in the Phoenix marketplace.
I wouldn't say that's why I didn't watch it. I would say I didn't watch it because maybe I'm just out of the demographic now. It's my favorite form of motorsports, but even I didn't watch it because I have a 10-year-old that I'm driving everywhere at every hour of the day to get to her activities.
Well, they're not after you.
That's why I'm saying I'm not the demographic.
They're after
but that's
the
why I
Richies,
didn't
the
watch
Richies
it.
of the world. But that still says something, though, Crasher. Again, we know what some of the drivers and what, frankly, we used to call you on the air that is politically incorrect, the IndyCar blank, because there's not a bigger pimp on the planet than you are, especially with the media outlet that you have with SpeedFreaks. No one has a bigger platform than you to be a bigger mouthpiece for IndyCar than you.
Wrong Chiron for Kenny, though.
All right, that's fine with me. And when they can't suck you into their programming, I don't care if you're 51, 41, 31, or 21, it's an issue. It's a problem.
I knew something was really wrong when 2 years ago, I even did not enjoy on a Sunday switching from NASCAR to IndyCar or switching from NHRA to IndyCar when I started to feel like it was a job. And I'm like, whoa. No, this is not a job. This IndyCar is one of my passions, one of my top passions. Why do I feel like it's just work now? I was so disillusioned with how things were going. So, yeah, I want to see these turnarounds. I want to see these turnarounds arguably more than anybody else, including some of the drivers. So anything that I've said negative has, I've hoped, been taken with constructive ears, because this series does deserve more. Absolutely.
Again, we're talking about the IndyCar series, which kicks off in March and then finishes in September. They are 6 months, almost 6 months dark, which again, Statman, is tough to keep any momentum. I don't care who you are, what you are, unless you're the NFL, you can keep some momentum. So again, Statman trying to keep these guys, the people interested, and keep frankly the drivers interested in promoting their brands in the off season, I would think would be a priority for IndyCar.
Yeah, and it's not just IndyCar. We've talked about the NHRA does the same thing. They promote the technology and the speed over some of the greatest personalities and certainly the most diverse racing on the planet. So, yeah, I mean, they've got to, people relate to people. They don't relate to technology. They definitely don't relate to $50,000 cars, hybridization or not. So unless you get behind the people to build a fan base with these drivers, great personalities, not all, but great personalities most, you're going to struggle. And that's the way it is.
We got about 45 seconds here, but don't think that these drivers don't see what's going on social media, good, bad, and different. When Will Power dropped out that conversation about Alex Palou and the contract, how he said he should negotiate with himself.
Last year. Yeah.
Will Power comes up to us going, man, I'm not going to try and do the accent. Boy, that I calls an S-storm. It's fantastic. But that was so good. I heard from IndyCar PR people going, that's just great. Thanks. More of that, please. More. Speaking of more, Arenacross is on MAV TV, and one of its superstars joins us next. It's always fantastic when we get two-wheel guys here in the Freak Nation.
Aaron Siminoe.
That's next. SpeedFreaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. Three things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We are told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You're back with the Freaks, Lucas Oil Studios. Almost 24 years of doing Speed Freaks from the Lucas Oil Studio. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, the Freak Radio Network, all of the social media channels, of course, MAV TV. First time in the Freak Nation, Aaron Siminoe joining us here in the Freak Nation, Arenacross pilot. And one of the big selling points for you, Aaron, was that you've got a great personality. How great is that personality, Aaron Siminoe?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you take me. Some days I'm good, some days I'm bad, but I try to be funny all the time.
But is that like saying when someone's trying to hook you up with and they say, you know what, she's got a great personality. I mean, you're not an ugly guy. You're a good looking dude, bro.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm starting to blush, as you can see. But yeah, no, I try to be pretty civil.
Wait before we go any further.
Yeah.
You're in Iowa right now, and civil in Iowa for the next few days will not be the same thing. So you hopefully you'll get out of Iowa soon.
Yeah, no, I'll be leaving Iowa today. I'm picking up my wife in Omaha Airport, and then we're going to the race in Nebraska at Grand Island, and we're going to put our race face on for Friday night.
Race face. Okay. Explain your race face, because you are a jovial person. You like to have fun, but who are you when that helmet goes on?
I am a BA motocross racer that doesn't like to take any crap from nobody. So once the helmet goes on, the other personality comes along, and he doesn't like to play around.
Does that other personality ever come out with your wife when she asks you to take out the trash, anything of that sort?
No, I really try not to do that. I really try to be only when the helmet's on. There's some days I'll put the helmet on just for, laughs and see how he comes out. But it typically does not come on unless race days.
Are there other riders who know your intricacies on track, know to be like, ooh, wait, he's in one of those modes. Got to stay away from him because he's going to go bar to bar with me?
Yeah, there's a few people that know that. Like, as soon as goggles go on, it's game time.
Hey, hold on just a second. You guys, you think Aaron's one of those riders that the other riders won't mention because they're afraid of retaliation if they say something bad about Aaron?
Like, who do you want to ride next? Who do you feel comfortable riding next to? And they won't say Aaron's name.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually a pretty level-headed rider. Like, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you right back. And that's typically how it goes in Arenacross. So we typically try to be civil with each other, but if we're going to bang bars, I'm going to go right back after you.
Why do some people, fans usually, get so offended by that? Because it is an aggressive motorsport. You should be allowed to do that. You have to use your body to move these machines.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it takes it to a whole new level where it gets unsafe. Like, if you're trying to go after that guy's front wheel or trying to break his leg, like, at that point, people have to step in and be like, whoa, dude, that's too far.
Aaron Siminoe is an Arenacross rider, and he's got a school. We've been talking about personalities and how that comes on and off with the helmet. How do you teach that at the school?
Well, it's very simple. I don't put my helmet on. I keep my hat on because, unfortunately, like with age and time and genetics, I got a receding hairline. So I don't know if it's pretty bad. So I usually keep the hat on so I don't have to deal with that. But that's typically what I do is I keep my hat on and my helmet off.
Do the riders, the guys that come to your school, or the riders that come to your school, men or women, do they call you on it? Say, hey, I saw you on the track. How do I teach?
Oh, all the time. They're like, hey, you remember that day that we were working on, not dabbing our foot or like dropping our elbows? You remember that day? Yeah, you should probably teach yourself again and then teach us some more.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So I have really awesome clients.
That's so when you're driving down the highway, going to an event, and you see a competitor in the van next to you, does the helmet go on then? Does that personality snap into mode?
Oh, absolutely. We do this. We go, oh, okay. No, we don't do that. We just look at each other, we nod, and we go, okay, we'll take it out on each other at the race.
Yeah, I got you.
Aaron Siminoe joining us here in the Freak Nation. Again, Arenacross pilot. Chasing after some fellas. I believe you're sitting at the 7th spot going into Nebraska and Oklahoma at this point. You, of course, can watch Arenacross on MAV TV, Freak Nation. Given the series and the limited races that you guys have, and we all know how, we've been talking to Arenacross. I mean, Buddy Antonez was the bomb.com, even before there was a .com.
He was before .com.
Yeah, he was. Could there be a longer Arenacross season? Take everything else out of it, but as far as your body goes, could there be a longer Arenacross season for you guys where your body could handle it?
I mean, there could. The only thing that I'm really dealing with right now is just how cold it is and just how fatigued you are in the cold. So I definitely feel Arenacross could definitely have a longer series. It just depends on, venue availability, weather conditions. The amount of time and effort it goes in just to acquire these venues is, from what I've heard, is just a complete pain in the butt. So like what the Arenacross guys are doing is great. And what they're trying to do is basically revamp and get everybody thrilled about Arenacross again. And that's kind of the cool part about being a part of it when they first started last year and being able to run the big number 3 this year, is having that opportunity to represent them and try to boost morale and get everybody on board. Because the more people we bring in, the more races we can go do, and the more fans get to enjoy racing.
Well, let me follow that up then. NASCAR, IndyCar teamed up. There's talk about other series teaming up because the old saying, all boats rise, whatever. What does it say? On a high tide. Okay. And we know the difficulty in setting a Supercross track, but it can be done. Do you know if there's been any discussion to run an Arenacross race inside that Supercross track to promote? Because you're both AMA from that standpoint.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I haven't heard any conversation or anything like that. I mean, to be honest with you, like I just talk with the promoters a little bit and kind of just keeping good graces with those guys. But as far as I've heard, I haven't heard anything of that sort of nature. But hopefully that would be really cool, though, if we could do like a mini Arenacross track inside a Supercross track and then have the two venues kind of go against each other. That would be fun.
It was cool to see some Supercross riders crossing over. I believe it was a weather issue with San Francisco last year, and then them coming down to Prescott. More of that, or heck, you've done both. More of the crossover. Would that be good for both sports?
I mean, it would. It's definitely going to make it for better entertainment for sure. It definitely brings more people to the seats because, if we could get, a couple of factory guys to jump in there, everybody would lose their minds. I don't know if that'll happen, but if it could happen, that would be super.
Look at that, man. Who knows? We might be onto something, guys.
Never say never, as we learn from
exactly.
Is Buddy Antunez the greatest Arenacross rider ever?
Not saying a word.
Where's the helmet when you need one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got one in the van here. If you want me to slap it on real quick, I got it right here. I got my Just One helmet. So
put the helmet on. Come on, man.
Do you really? You guys want to see the helmet on? All right.
Yeah, put it on. Is it going to jack with your headphones?
Yeah, it might. So be careful.
Okay.
Let's see how this does here.
Yeah.
We get what we ask for.
See there, Freak Nation. You asked and you receive here.
Oh, yeah. All right. There you go.
All right. Hit the switch.
All right.
Here we go.
Yep.
Tell us, who's the best Arenacross racer ever?
The number 3 on the Kawasaki, obviously.
Of course, is Aaron Siminoe.
Now I got to take the helmet off because I feel like an idiot because I'm in a Walmart parking lot and people are walking by like, what is that clown doing? So hold on one sec.
Yeah, that stout Walmart security system and guards might be out there at your car pulling a bunch of plastic.
Yeah,
guns.
I'm getting the cops called on me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. They think I'm some, crazy person sitting in the parking lot.
Anytime.
Talking to himself. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Talking to his phone.
They're like, that guy's watching a serious Netflix series right now and he is into it.
That's the reason why they kept promoting Aaron to join the Freak Nation, because you are freak. We love that.
He's one of us. We appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Well, look,
at least hopefully I get a T-shirt out of this, right?
Yeah. Listen, you get yourself a freaking podium, we'll get you more than a T-shirt. You happy bastard. All right.
That sounds good to me. That's the goal. Got to get some podiums. We got to get back up there.
Yeah. All right. Well, man. Go in and buy whatever you need to buy, some cough syrup or something or other there in Walmart, and go pick up your girlfriend.
Okay. Wife, get that right. Wife. If you say girlfriend again, she might come through the phone if she finds out about this and come after y'all.
Well, you think his helmet was bad? Wait till you see her. Come on.
That's true. That's so awesome. Hey, man, good luck to you, buddy. This is awesome. It won't be the last time, Aaron.
Nope. I appreciate it. I loved being on here, and I hope to do it again soon.
Killer. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Big second hour coming up, Freak Nation. An original freak, Randy LaJoie, one of the top 75 NASCAR drivers of all time, and more. He'll be joining us in the second hour on the Freak Radio Network and on MAV TV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Second hour of the Freaks. That's the second hour of the Freaks. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave. We're all here for the second hour. Randy LaJoie, one of the top 75 NASCAR drivers of all time. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Doing the research on Randy LaJoie, I didn't realize he ran for so many owners in Cup. So he'll be joining us this hour. Good reason to touch base with him. Of course, his son, Corey LaJoie, currently running in the Cup Series. So yeah, be a part of this big old thing. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the website, speedfreaks.tv. If you're just tuning in, Speed Freaks, what the hell? What? Well, we've been doing this for almost 24 years. Speed Freaks on the Freak Radio Network. A lot of TV with ESPN, NBC, Fox, Speed Channel, all of that. And now our home is MAV TV. Happy to be a part of this big old thing that's going on with MAV TV. I got to play this video one more time before we get into this conversation, okay?
I was at the gym. A guy challenged me to a squatting competition, and I tried to squat 300 pounds on the shoulder.
Meanwhile, Liz is like, yeah, he's going to do what he does.
Well, that's willpower, Freak Nation. Indy 500 champion, IndyCar champion, just having a little bit of fun. And social media went bonkers when he put that out earlier this week.
The props. You made social media go bonkers.
Nice job, buddy. Yeah.
Well done.
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah, Randy LaJoie coming up here in the Freak Nation. Willpower just dropping on. Because what went down last week, Crasher, is IndyCar's media
Content days. Oh, he gave them content.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
That's probably what they said. Listen, here's the plan. Here's the 10,000 foot plan. Yeah. Listen, provide content for you, the series. It could be a little controversial. Like, let's put an IndyCar driver in a neck brace.
Okay. You just said last hour how people freaked out about it. Why don't you play his response video again? Because no, I don't think this was planned.
I don't want to, because I don't want people to think that the Indy 500 champion has an issue with his freaking neck. Stat man, Crash, Suave, Kenny Sargent. Hey, man, that NASCAR Cup season couldn't happen any sooner with the Clash. It's going to be here before we know it, man. I know old men and old women say that all the time, but it is going to be here before you know it. You got the Clash coming up to kick off February. Then we take a week off. You got the Super Bowl. Then, bam, the Daytona 500 that next weekend. But interesting news regarding NASCAR. And I say that because, in particular, it has to be this Netflix show that's going to be dropping for 2024. Richie, do we know when that thing's going to drop?
We do know when it's going to drop. It's called NASCAR Full Speed.
Okay.
It is coming out on Netflix on January 30th. And this week we got our first look at the trailer for this new Netflix documentary series.
Very well done. Ooh. And they didn't shy away from one of the bad words of racing. Killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of motorsports executives over our 24 years of doing this show have really wanted to shy away from that aspect of it. But when you put it out there, that's part of the intrigue is avoiding it and being so good at what you do that you can avoid it. So, wow, good for them.
Well, I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, I don't like promoting accidents. Certainly they're dramatic and they don't happen all the time. So when they do happen, they're news, but to me, I just don't like it. And, but if that gets people to watch, then yeah, so be it.
Don't you think it has to be said? Because again, some people see a car running on the ceiling of a room, and they have to put a disclaimer down there saying, "Don't try this at home." Sometimes it's just not obvious to people that there is a death component to racing.
No, that should be obvious. You're going, 200 miles an hour, 4 inches away from somebody who's also going 200 miles an hour. That should be obvious, and the accidents are dramatic. Cars flipping in the air and dirt flying and pieces flying off. And, that's the way the world spins. But I'm just old school enough and just old enough to say I don't like that. And to sell that as an ingredient for racing, I don't know, doesn't taste good.
I will admit with you, I don't like it, but there's an element of intrigue when it comes to how you are so good that you avoid it. That's just my personal opinion. And in that realm, I'm okay with advertising it because it is a reality, and these guys are at the top of their game because they know how best to do this game to avoid death.
Then sell that. Don't. Hey, come look at these guys crash and might die.
Without question. I agree.
And I agree with Stat to a degree. I understand why you do it, and the person in there editing the pieces and the stories together, they got a job to do. But where we are now, I mean, look at Richie, the residential that he is, and look at my 10-year-old daughter. The access that people, me, Stat, Crash, Suave, and a 6-year-old that has a phone, the access that we have to not so friendly video, when you can go to TMZ and see some dude get in a fight with another dude, get hit onto the tracks of a subway train and get run over. As sad as it is to say, I don't like to watch that. Stat doesn't like to watch that, but it's out there, and you're competing for, it used to be ears for radio. Now it's ears and eyeballs for radio and TV. When you've got that competition where you're seeing, you can watch death. Richie, isn't there a freaking website? It's called Greatest Deaths of All Time or something.
Oh, come on.
There's something out there that, yes, you don't have to go too deep on the interwebs to find death videos. You don't.
You don't have to go too deep on the interwebs to find anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see it, it's out there. But the point of the matter is, if you want to sell it, that's where your mind goes. And if you want to sell that, you've got a lot of competition that you got to go way down the road in order to attract those people back away from where they want to go and watch them drool. And I don't see it.
Suave, what's it called? Death scrolling? What's it called?
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Yes.
All right. Doom scrolling. That's what millennials and younger are doing now with Twitter and Instagram. Just do just. Like you're the Twitter hound. Do you go to trends immediately first thing when you wake up, or do you just look at your feed?
I will just scroll and just see what the latest is happening. Then I'll go to the trending section. Yes.
Is that just part of social media now? Is doom scrolling? Is that what we're doing, whether we know it or not?
It's, you know what? It's been around for 80, 100 plus years in a different form. In the newspaper business, business, you know what that was called? It was called If It Bleeds, It Leads. That still exists to this day, just in a different form.
Good point.
Right? So here's my question about watching this, which is, I don't have Netflix right now. I deleted my account. I'm not going to sign up to watch this series. But is this series enough to get people who already have a Netflix account to click and watch it? And is seeing those wrecks going to be able for people to do that, so that when they do watch it, they're going to get the personalities of these drivers? And the drivers that are going to be featured in this: Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and Tyler Reddick. Nice. So is that a smart move on Netflix's part to market it this way so people tune in and watch? And then when they tune in and watch, they will be more apt to draw themselves into a favorite driver, like we talked about back in the first hour with IndyCar, right? Where that's how NASCAR is going to market it that way, is that people are going to start liking their favorite drivers through a series like this.
30 seconds, Pat. 30 seconds.
That's the core of the question, whether or not you could get people to watch by selling them Doom or selling them personality.
Either or.
Put that on his shirt. Check Doom or personality.
I'm C.
All right, Freak Nation. He's the father of one of the most popular drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series, and you won't believe the lives that he has saved over the last decade and a half. Randy LaJoie joins us next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
You're back with Speed Freaks, the website speedfreaks.tv, MAV TV. Of course, we're on MAV TV and the Freak Radio Network and every social media channel out there on the planet. General Tire, thank you for making this thing possible. Go to generaltire.com to find the tire for your righteous ride during this horrible weather. Make sure you're rolling on a new set of General Tires. Look, man, Randy LaJoie has been in the Freak Nation for a long damn time. Been coming to the Freak Nation for a long damn time. And it's been a long damn time since the last time he was in here. Randy, we celebrate 24 years in June of this year. When the first time you came in the Freak Nation, did you think we would last another month?
Well, come on, of course. You know, you're long as race fans as you guys are. You know, when I met you guys 20 years ago, possibly 24 years ago, whenever you're saying, I mean, we didn't know if I was going to last. So it's you guys have been great for the sport. So I'm glad you guys kept it up and kept doing it, because, you know, there's plenty of people that come and gone in this sport, and man, you guys are still here. So 2 thumbs up.
Randy LaJoie, one of the top 75 NASCAR drivers of all time, 3-time Xfinity Series champion, or back in the day, Busch Series champion. Getting back to those first times you were coming to the Freak Nation, Randy LaJoie, I always got the sense that you had to hold back a little bit on your personality and from things that you wanted to say, given the terrain at the time, the importance of sponsorship. You didn't want to rock the boat. Did I pick up on that correctly at the time, that maybe you weren't saying the things that you really wanted to say?
Golly, I said a lot of the things I did want to say. And you know, both my kids, they say, Dad, you know, 20 years ago, he said, don't get on Facebook or Bookface or whatever that stuff is. He goes, you would go to social media jail. So I've kind of stayed off with that. I have people that do it for the seat company, but I'm not going to argue, and I'm not going to call somebody a, you know what, you know, because this day and age, people get offended pretty darn quick.
Well, personal offenses aside, do you feel that sanctioning bodies in general handicapped you guys in the sense that they would not allow you to speak your mind, even if it might have seemed offensive to them as a sanctioning body when you were just wanting to voice your opinion on how to make something better? Fortunately, I believe that's changed, but do you think that was too much back in the day?
Well, a lot of people, they don't like to listen to constructive criticism. And that's something that's all of us racers, if number one, if you're racing, you're selfish and you want something for yourself. So you're not thinking of the whole series. And that's what the series has to think about, everybody. So individually, we're all selfish and we want what's best for us. So that's a lot of the issues that you see when guys spat off. But a lot of times, a lot of good comes out. Might not happen right away, but changes do come by being that squeaky wheel.
Mm-hmm. One of the changes being like your seat company. It's interesting you talk about drivers wanting to be selfish. I was going to ask you later in this interview, but it kind of comes up now. What do you think is your lasting legacy in motorsports? Is it you behind the wheel as a driver, or taking that selfishness away and creating this safety seat that is so good for so many aspects of the sport?
Well, this day and age, people come into the shop and they look at you and say, "Oh, you're the seat guy." Okay, but then you talk to them about driving and stuff, and then they realize when they look around my shop, all my trophies and the helmets and that 75th greatest. That was a great honor to be part of that. So there are some. I wouldn't mind being known for a pretty damn good race car driver. So being at 75, being on that list is pretty darn cool. But what I think I've done for the short track series, I've gone to 180 racetracks. I remember seeing you guys when we were out there in Hell, Sedalia, Missouri, out there. And, I've been to a lot of racetracks and I haven't tripped over any other top NASCAR drivers bringing the safety stuff. That's something that I've been involved with the NASCAR R&D since it's been put together. The safety industry kind of all got behind that and we helped pay for it. So it's an open book with NASCAR and their R&D center on safety. And I don't believe there should be any secrets in safety. I mean, everybody had speed secrets and you wouldn't tell the next guy what you were doing, but not in safety. We all been to funerals that it was crazy. I've been to way too many funerals and people just don't know what they don't know. So since Earnhardt has passed in 2001, NASCAR hasn't lost anybody. But that's not the same for short tracks. And life on Sunday is the same that races any day or week. So I've tried to give that information, tried to bring it to the short tracks, tried to bring it to the promoters. We're having little issues now with the short track guys. NASCAR in 2001, after Earnhardt passed, did a lot of work and to see why he passed and not let it happen again. And there was so many things that went wrong with his system in his car. It wasn't just one thing. It was the whole system. And that's what I've been trying to bring to the short track guys is check your systems. You got 5 or 6 different things. And when you go to a racetrack, I try to tell promoters, if you don't really pay attention to what these guys are sitting in, you're letting them come in and play Russian roulette. But if you take all your system and take all the bullets out of the chamber, then it's not a bad thing to play. So there's a lot of things that the racing has gotten better. The cars have gone faster. We still get guys getting hurt. And if one guy gets hurt, we need to fix it so the next guy don't get hurt.
So hold on. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're not just the seat guy. You're not just the 3-time champion. You are the awareness guy. You are bringing so much more than just the safety of seats to these short tracks across America.
Absolutely. I bring a video, I bring a television, and I show the crash test. And, when I looked at those crash tests back when I started, I didn't realize that the dummies were so lifelike. And I questioned a lot of them. Well, and then you started being a crash test dummy myself. I hit my knee on something years ago. I broke my kneecap and the doctor showed a picture of it on the x-ray. He goes, "Hey, you broke your kneecap." And it looked like a 9/16 bolt. And he said, how would you hit that? And I said, I'll find out. So I went and sat back in the car, and 14 inches away from my knee, I hit it. So obviously your body stretches. We're 60% fluid. So we're trying to contain jello, and the belt stretch. And my knee moved 14 damn inches, and it broke my kneecap. So, people that tell you the belts hold you in and all that stuff, you hit something hard enough, you're going to move. And that's something that we've learned in the industry. Less movement is better.
I can see the helmets in back of you there tell you everything you need to know about you as a driver, from the old school helmet where your chin is hanging out there to the full face helmet of the modern day. So there had to come a time when you were ready to stop. Had some stoppage in the NFL this week. Tell me about what it was like for you that morning. You woke up and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, that was 2006. That was my last ride. I didn't climb in a window. I haven't climbed in a window since. It was one of those. I helped Kevin Harvick win the championship in the Busch Series. When he was in the Coast Guard car, he had gone to Cup, and he needed somebody to practice and qualify the Coast Guard car with Childress. He asked me to do it. I said, I won't fit in your seat. And he said, just lose weight. And I said, oh, that's not so easy. But I happened to get in the best shape of my life in 2006, just so I could drive that race car. And the 9 times that I drove it, practiced and qualified it, he won 6 of them, run second in 2 of them, was going for the lead and got wrecked in the 3rd one. So he went away and won the championship by far. And that team was so darn good. It was amazing. And I went to Richard at the end of the year and asked him to maybe do a partial schedule. And he said, Randy, he goes, I'm having trouble selling a 30-year-old. He says, it'll be a tough time trying to sell you. And I said, okay. That made up my mind right there that I had to do something a little bit different, because I didn't mind driving race cars, but I don't like driving slow race cars. And that's all that was out there. A lot of guys wanted to be to the starting parks, and I could have made 6 figures. But I said, if you sit at that head table a couple of years in a row, and you're the dog that when you go into that dog fight that they're going to be chasing, when you go in and you'll be lucky to even get any scraps left after the big dogs eat it all. I said, okay, there was no good rides up in age. I was piddling with the seat company, and I said, okay, let me put more effort into the seat company.
Well, as expected, Randy, you're talking your butt off in this interview. Can we go to break, come back, and do a 2-parter on this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to race for a living, but now I slow down and just talk for a living.
More coming up with Speed Freaks from Lucas Oil Studios on MAV TV and the Freak Radio Network.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined. Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Speed Freaks on MAV TV and the Freak Radio Network, the website, speedfreaks.tv, and, of course, all of our social media channels. Coming up more with Randy LaJoie, 3-time NASCAR Busch Series champion, now the Xfinity Series. Always awesome when LaJoie joins us here in the Freak Nation. But some house cleaning. Go to lucasoil.com. It's a great website to check out to find all the products to keep your rides, 2-wheel, 4-wheel, speedboat, fat and happy, in and out of the garage, on the track, on the water. Go to lucasoil.com. Now back more with Randy LaJoie here in the Freak Nation.
So if it wasn't for safety, and that's a major part, it kept you involved in the sport. But if it wasn't for the safety and your interest in it, what else would Randy LaJoie be doing right now?
Oh, I'll probably be in jail. It's become a passion of mine to not see people get hurt. This is a great sport. I'm a race fan. I grew up watching racing my whole life. My dad was a racer. So I've been around it my whole life. And, you know, like I said earlier, the safety end, you know, Bill Simpson was a mentor of mine, smart guy. I would talk to Bill a lot. If I didn't have the answer to something, I would ask Bill. We lost him a couple of years ago. And, you know, there's a bunch of guys in the industry that I still could talk to. And I'm just trying to help, because these kids nowadays, we got a whole bunch of different group of racers coming in. And it's fun now. I built kids that raced with Corey. You know, Corey raced with Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney. I mean, all the guys that are the big wigs nowadays, Logano, they all raced when they were kids. And now I'm building those kids, which I call them kids, but I'm bringing their kids into seats and stuff like that. So that's pretty darn cool to see different generations coming through the door here. So it kind of tells you you've been around for a while.
Freak Nation, his name is Randy LaJoie, 3-time NASCAR Busch Series champion. If you're not familiar with the Busch Series, well, it's the Xfinity Series. The dude was a badass. We'll get into why he did not have that success in the NASCAR Cup Series. I've heard a number of interviews with Randy, but I want to hear him say it here in the Freak Nation. But Randy, do you think you would have this passion for safety if you didn't have, well, Corey, your children and grandchildren? Is that inspiration for you to provide safety for not just your family, but those associated with your family?
Well, I mean, at first it was, I didn't plan on getting into the seat business. NASCAR had come to me in 1994. This seat that I use today, my dad bought from Mark Donahue in 1971.
Whoa.
So my dad used this seat. So when I started, he said, hey, just use this seat. And okay, well, I used that seat up until 1994. I had that big wreck at Daytona in 83. In NASCAR, I had to sign a waiver before I could run because they never seen a seat like that. And they said, well, if something happens to you, we don't want to be responsible. So I had to sign a waiver so I could use my own seat, which was that Mark Donahue seat. And man, I flipped pretty bad at Daytona and had a headache, was alive. But they said, hey, as long as you're around, you could use that seat. I said, okay. Well, 94, they came into the shop and they said, no more fiberglass. It was a fiberglass seat, which it did have a steel frame around it. And they said, no more fiberglass. So I had to go find somebody to stamp aluminum. And I brought my seat to the guys in business. There are two guys in the area, two seat builders, and neither one of them would do it. They said it was too hard. Well, I met a guy through a guy, and we started stamping these things. And the investment that I put in to do the stampings, I said, okay, I'm going to have to try to recoup some of this, to at least pay for it. Luckily, I was racing. I was doing well. The NASCAR Busch Series budget to the winners is nothing like what the Cup guys get. But I beat out a pretty good living, I thought, and started this seat company. And, now 30 years later, I do believe we saved a few lives. Knock on wood, I've lost only one person in a seat that's been in our seat, and it had nothing to do with the seat. It was a head and neck issue, and I cut the seat up into small pieces, and then it broke my heart. I was crying while I did it because I said, it's just so damn sad that somebody got hurt in one of my products. That's something I didn't want to get myself hurt at the beginning. So I wanted to build myself the best seat that I could. And now I want to do it for Corey, which, back in the day, they would call me a crash test dummy. But now with the cancel culture and all of that, I got to call Corey a data acquisition technologist. So he's not a crash test dummy.
Before we get too far away from it, Randy LaJoie, my favorite driver in history, going back to when I was a youngster, that's a long time ago, was Mark Donahue. How did you and Mark Donahue get together to where you could get a seat from him and eventually start your business?
Me, my brother, and my dad went to Hartford, Connecticut. We're Connecticut guys, and they had a car show up there. And Mark's Trans Am winning Camaro was there, and he was signing autographs. And him and my dad got talking. My dad's a Hall of Fame up in New England, so he's a good racer. And then him and Mark knew of each other through the papers, possibly. Mark showed my dad the cockpit of his car, and my dad's like, "Wow, that looks like a comfortable seat." And he sat in it, and he's like, "Wow, this thing's really nice." And Mark says, "I'll sell it to you." So he sold him one, and then my dad, it wouldn't fit in the modified, so he kept making it smaller, and finally got it to fit. And he got in bed with Dick Moroso. Dick Moroso, had his parts business. He was from Connecticut, and he was doing fiberglass hoods for the Corvettes. And Dick turned my dad on to the guy that was doing the fiberglass, and he had that guy copy this Mark Donahue seat once he cut it up. So I've talked to David Donahue in years gone by when he used to run the IROC and stuff, and I always asked him permission to say that it was a Mark Donahue designed seat, and he didn't have a problem with that. So just tells you how smart old Mark Donahue was back in the early 70s.
Randy LaJoie joining us here in the Freak Nation. We're coming up on 24 years of Speed Freaks. Did the joy of seating come about because of Bob Ross, the joy of painting?
Stop it.
There's nobody here that quiet. We can't even, I mean, I got some stuff on the walls that don't even look like his paintings, but it came from the grandkids and they're not even quiet. So when they're painting, you know they're painting, but yeah, there's no talented people like old Bob, that's for sure.
Hey, again, researching for this interview, we do a little bit of pre-show, a little prep.
Tiny.
Going through the owners that you raced for, holy smokes. Cale Yarborough, you got Rosenblum, Lynn Rowe, Bill Davis, you mentioned Moroso, Taylor, Dick Brooks, Bass, then, of course, Hendrick. No fear. No wonder you couldn't get a ride in Cup. You just kept jumping from team to team. What the hell's what? Why couldn't you land with Richard Childress?
Well, I mean, it was a want thing too. When you're a big guy in a little pond, I guess, you know, when you're running as well as we were running in the Busch Series. 95, I went with Bill Davis, and didn't have a good year. I didn't think that Cup Series was all that whatever. So I came back to the Busch Series, and then we had the kids. Me and the wife had the kids, and I could spend more time with them racing on Saturday than I could on Sunday. It was really hard. It was really hard to turn down the Budweiser Rick Hendrick ride. They offered me to ride a year after Craven got hurt. I filled in 9 races, run well in 3 or 4 of them, and they offered me a deal for the following year. And you know, I said I couldn't do it. There was out of the 9 races that we had raced for Budweiser and Rick, you know, I did like 50 appearances, and it was not hard to do appearances with the Budweiser girls. So, you know, I had options for the following year, and I said, well, I told the wife, I said, honey, I said, if I do that Cup car and drive for Budweiser and Hendrick, I don't believe at the end of the year we would stay married. And I didn't want to do that to her. Or the kids, and I was enjoying the kids. I built a little go-kart track out back. We had a little fun with that for about 15 years. So I just wanted to give the kids a dad on a Sunday.
But it's great to have you here in the Freak Nation, Randy, and doing a whole lot of good for a whole lot of people, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot. And, you know, it's guys and gals like you guys that are very good for this sport. Like I said earlier, I'm a race fan, number one. And I've been a fan of Freak Nation, you guys, since I met you 25 years ago. And you have been awesome for the sport. Thank you for your involvement.
Well, Randy, buddy, thank you. Best of luck to you for 2024 and beyond, man.
Hey, thank you guys too. Have a continued a great show. Thanks for having me on.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
I was in a Car and Driver magazine piece once before all of you were born. That's why the brand can get my attention once in a while when it crosses my path. It did this week with a feature about 14 discontinued cars we wish still existed. Cars like the Viper, the Honda S2000, the Datsun 510, and the AMC Eagle of all things. Haven't thought about the Eagle in a long time. The Pontiac GTO wasn't mentioned, but I'd put it maybe 15th on our list. I loved my GTO and my Datsun 510s, all three of them. I wish I had time to tell you a story about two more that President Nixon snatched from me one Saturday morning. Car and Driver even put the Pontiac Aztek on the list. It's one of the ugliest cars ever, but make it electric and tomorrow morning there'd be a line of buyers out the door. I'm sure you have your own list. The problem today is the cost. The average price of a new car is nearly $50,000. Car makers have excuses for that, but that price tag is the reason why showrooms are empty and kids aren't interested anymore. Where's a 510 when you need one? Peace.
Hold on just a second. You're back with Speed Freaks, Lucas Oil Studios, GeneralTire.com, LucasOil.com, MAV TV, Freak Radio Network. What? Hold on. Richard Nixon took away your Datsun?
Oh, yeah.
What do you...
I've never told you this story.
Well, remember that we've only got 10 minutes here, Statman.
All right. It's a 15-minute story, but I'll boil it down. I'd done some stories about the 510 and the 240Z, and the guy that I worked with at Nissan, we became friendly. Not friends, but friendly. And I threw an idea at him and said, hey, what if I wanted a four-door sedan with all the bells and whistles, and I wanted a two-door sedan that I could get all the parts and I could race around with it. He said, yeah, I could do that. So we smoked up a deal where I would buy one on the employee discount plan. And I talked to him on a Friday, and he said, it's all done. Your cars are on the boat. I get up on Saturday morning, go do my constitutional, sit down, open up the paper, Nixon embargo. And I called him on Monday, and there's nothing but confusion in the background, literally. And he says, everything's on hold. I'll have to get back to you in a couple of weeks. And in a couple of weeks, he said, no.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought freaking Tricky Dick Nixon was knocking on your damn door.
Well, close to it. He stole it. I had the car on the boat, and he took them away, snatched them away right from the jaws of a good time.
See there, Freak Nation. Coming up in June, we will have been doing this for 24 years, and I have never heard that story. That man got his Datsun taken away from him thanks to the president.
I'm just, you know what I'm picturing off of that story is listening to the Nixon tapes, and Richard Nixon is talking about Statman in the Oval Office. Like, I can't do a Nixon impression, but Statman gets mentioned in the Nixon tapes.
There it was.
Somebody out there on the interwebs, make that happen. Insert the Statman conversation into the Nixon tapes. We'll love you forever.
Statman is a spy. Sorry, it's John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, trying to take over America's relationship with Japan. Yeah, there it goes.
Maybe that's, you know what?
No.
You know what? When the 13 missing minutes of the Watergate tape?
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah,
We saw
wait a minute.
everything on
Kill
this
this.
show.
We don't want anybody to know about this.
It took 50 years to figure it out, but by golly, we did it.
What?
We did it.
At some point, they're going to talk about this on MAV TV, and we don't want to. We don't want to.
CNN,
Yes.
MSNBC, Fox News, they're all going to come to MAV TV for their sources.
You know, it was a short run on MAV TV. Speed Freaks Radio Network has been taken over by the government. Statman is yet to be seen. There was a Datsun, was it a 510?
Yeah,
Datsun
510.
510 seen floating off into the Atlantic.
Yeah, zipping down the Interstate 70 at full speed.
Oh my gosh. That is human greatness, which actually that whole Statman scat brought to you by good friends at General Tire gets to the point of Richie talking last hour. Was that last hour? Yeah, last hour about really having Honda branded on your power plant IndyCar. It doesn't sell cars. It's not selling cars to what are you now, Richie? Hell, you're about to come up another birth, 32?
30. I'll be 33 in like 3 weeks.
It's not selling cars. Not at all. And getting back to Statman's point of the average car is $50K?
$49,000.
So, I really would like to do a non-scientific poll on social media. Who buys cars because of the engine manufacturer? Who buys cars because of driver awareness branding? I am very curious now, because if it seems to matter so much to a company like Honda, but it doesn't matter to the audience buying, then why is this a topic of issue when it comes to being a major manufacturer in a series?
Well, wait a minute. You're talking about two different things there. Honda is saying it costs us too much money. We spend $10 on this, and we're only getting $9 back in return in visibility and whatever, selling technology in our showrooms. And that's a little bit different than people saying we buy a Honda because Honda's involved in IndyCar. That's two different things.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see the P&L, profit loss, of Dodge, Pontiac, Chevrolet, and Ford. Again, don't underestimate why NASCAR went so heavy to make their cars look like cars on the lot.
Right.
Mustangs, Chevrolets, Toyotas. I'd be curious what the P&L is with Pontiac. Well, don't know now, but Dodge, once they got out of NASCAR. I mean, how many Dodge Chargers, was it? Dodge Chargers, did they sell?
In the
Well,
sport,
they didn't get
in the
back
sport while they're
in.
out.
I'm sorry, Crash. They didn't get back in once they got out. So obviously that was a difference. Worth our $10 in NASCAR wasn't worth the money that we're getting back. And that's what Honda is saying to IndyCar.
The viability, that's a decent word. The viability of a Camaro and a Mustang on the street. Where is he?
Yeah, he's below you.
Where is he? Up there? That 33-year-old almost Richard C. Suave, I can promise you that 99% of those dudes are not going to go out and buy a Camaro.
Especially since Camaros are disappearing from the street.
Camrys are the bomb.com. God, I sound like a dude trying to be a hipster. But put the brakes on a great segment with that, didn't I?
Camrys are the bomb.com.
Hey, I'm a sexy dude. Come on.
That actually would sell more cars to millennials if that's the tagline right there. Yeah, absolutely.
What's the tagline again, Richie?
Toyota Camrys. They're the bomb.com.
Back to you.
Damn right, I got dang one too.
We're done.
Not yet, Henley. We're not done yet.
Oh, we're back. We're back to that. Really? Have we gone back to that?
Yes.
Dang it.
Yes, we have, Statman. Careful what you say, buddy.
What?
Yes, careful.
The soundboard is alive. There are voices coming from all around the studios now. Oof.
Oh my goodness, man! Listen, it only took an hour and 45 minutes before we went off the rails. We didn't.
Yeah, that's progress.
It's a fresh year. We waited a while till we dug some rabbit holes. Went back there and parked our big ass in there and hung out for a while.
Off the rails.
Yeah. Oh, the new word for 9 and 10-year-olds, Statman, slay.
Slayed.
That's not new.
Would you stop? Why are we debating this? I was trying to set Henley straight on how to use the word slay. Like that slays. You're slaying it. Okay?
Okay.
So you're actually teaching the 9 and 10-year-olds how to use slay.
Yeah.
Got it.
When Richie started using dope. That's so dope.
The word now is drip. Have you seen that on something?
Oh, we got to break. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. That word's been canceled.
That's why it's on the if it makes it on the commercial, it's canceled right there.
All right, Freak Nation. Thank you guys for being a part of this thing. We do it every Sunday night here in the Freak Nation and Monday afternoon on MAV TV. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Shoot the juice to the moose and Statman.
Cut it loose.
Yeah.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas fuel treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.